I'm Dr. Ben Newman. I am a coronavirus researcher. This is Ask Dr. Ben, where I'm going to try to answer whatever people type into the internet. Yeah, and send to me. Last question for today is from Julie. And how are you doing? Yeah. All right. So there's debate slash conversation going on in my house. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. While I'm not against the vaccine, I don't quite understand the purpose of getting it while I have children at home that are not eligible. Okay, yeah, all right, that's fine. We can deal with this. I feel it puts them more at risk. Yeah, it's not just you, but I'll tell you why I think that's getting things backwards. But let's finish the question before we try to answer it, because otherwise, I don't know, I wander off and I never make it back. Let's see. If I get COVID while vaccinated and show no symptoms, I can still pass it on to them. Yes. I'd rather know and protect them and quarantine. There's the problem. There is the problem. All right, so let's deal with that half of it first. Biggest problem here is that by the time you would have symptoms, you would almost certainly have already passed the virus on. Symptoms come a little bit too late in this, so it's not a world of people out there who feel terrible and sick and are still going out and then spreading it to people. It's mostly spread that's happening while people feel either fine or not too bad. And these are often people that will then go on to develop more symptoms. But yeah, at the time of spread, it looks as though it's almost all asymptomatic spread at the time. Doesn't mean people are asymptomatic forever, and most people aren't. But yeah, there you go. So that's reason number one why I would say it would be really important to get vaccinated for your kids' sake. So you are not just their mother, you're also their shield, and also, third, also, you are their main source of risk. I would imagine, or at least one of them. I don't know how old your children are. If they're school, that's probably going to be their main source of risk. But if it's really young children, if they're getting it from each other or from you. Or it says down here, your husband is vaccinated, so probably not your husband. Yeah, the vaccine is essentially shutting off one of the major routes by which the virus could get into your house. And then I like your husband's point of view. So the question goes on. My husband understands my point of view, but also says he can't afford time off work, which I get. And then the question would be, can your kids afford to be without you and your husband if you happen to get COVID? And when it hits really hard, you can be in a hospital for months. You may not even make it out of the hospital. When it's just an ordinary case, it's pretty bad, and you're pretty much lost to your family for a couple of days. And yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing you're probably a little bit too important, and I'm guessing you probably can't afford time off from the other things that you're doing. There's probably more to it than just taking care of kids, but even so, that's the way I'd look at it. And yeah, I would say it makes a lot of sense just in the way that it can prevent bad things from happening. And I think the risks that you're seeing, which are things that I've heard talked about online, it is definitely not just you, those are things that don't really make sense with the way the virus works. Yeah. So they're not realistic risks or risks that are any higher if you're vaccinated. They're actually risks that become much less if you're vaccinated. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's my take on it. And I hope that made sense and yeah, was at least somewhat convincing. So thanks very much. This has been Ask Dr. Ben.